Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're here with Louise. Now she has a company called Aunties, which it makes beignets. Now it's similar, as she told me, to funnel cakes. If you never eaten, that before. Now funnel cakes is one of my favorite foods, and oh boy, funnel! I love when we go to the Houston, rodeo and get some funnel cakes. But like I said, I can't eat that anymore. I'm trying to, work out, lose some weight, so it's better for my health. But Louise, thanks for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
All right. So, what inspired your brand, Aunties? Please let me know that.
So, so back in Cameroon, West Africa, where I'm originally from, Puff Puff is something of a street food. And for us here in the diaspora, here in America or in other European countries, most of us don't really have the right measurement for making it. So we always end up either getting one of our aunties that knows how to really get that measurement right to make the mix, to fry it for us, either if we have a party or people would pay for it for somebody to make it and bring it to a party. Like, you can't go to an African party, especially a West African party, and not see Puff Puff on the menu. If you've been to a Nigerian wedding, if you've been to a Ghanaian party, a Cameroonian party, Puff Puff is always on the menu. So when I was dating my ex, in that dating phase, you're trying to show out that you can make everything and then some, So I wanted to make some Puff Puff, and we normally eat it with fried beans because it can be either dessert or it can be a savory snack. And so I was searching for the recipe on YouTube and online, and I'm like, you have to get so many measuring things. You got to get the flour and then measure it and measure the sugar and all. And I was like, why is there no mix? No something quick and easy like the American grocery market that you can just buy your cake mix and just add, follow the instruction, and you can make some cake at home or some brownies. And there was nothing for the African market. And so he was like, well, why don't you make it since nobody has made it? And don't tell me a good idea and I sleep on it. So I started thinking about it and I researched it, and nobody had done it before in the American market. And there was a need for it because, everybody's eating it. And so that's how it was born. And when I was pregnant with my first daughter, who's about to be 5 now, I started playing with different recipes and just finding that perfect mix that would go with any country, because some countries make it a little bit different. And that's how it became into existence.
All right. So you created, the proper recipe for it. Now, then you moved over to branding. You got the name. Where did you get Aunties from?
So because everybody always gets to have their auntie that makes some bomb Puff Puff, that's why I came up with the auntie, because I got an auntie also that used to be the one that made the Puff Puff, but now you don't need auntie because you got Aunties Puff Puff mix. So that's how I came up with the name. And with the branding and the packaging and getting the food license, I really it was self-taught. Thankfully, I'm a risk taker. And so I just pretty much Googled what it would take. I went to one of the biggest, well, not biggest at that time, the oldest African store that we have here in Georgia, Casey's Foods. And I just asked them, hey, what would it take what is the process that you're required to have a product on your shelf? And the guy was very gracious to me to tell me, oh, it has to have a full license. It has to have a UPC code because we can't just have a homemade package, unpackaged, a homemade product that is not licensed, because the state can walk in at any time. So they've changed the law now. So you have to make sure that you get a full license. And I'm a person that I will ask questions. I don't mind asking questions. I can get very annoying because I ask too many questions, but that is how I gain knowledge and wisdom. And so I asked, okay, how do you get a food license? And he told me how. How do you get a UPC code? He actually emailed me the link to get a UPC code. And it wasn't as difficult as somebody would think that it was, because the food license was, a straightforward process. They would tell you what they need for your packaging. UPC code was $2 to generate one online for, without any situation. So that's how it came about.
Okay. So, you found out how to get it on it. So did you go through mass manufacturing, or you just did it all yourself?
No, till today, I still do it all by myself. Wednesdays, we're in the kitchen, in the commercial kitchen, making it from scratch. I actually have to be in the kitchen this Wednesday because I have a distributor order. But yeah, we do everything from scratch because I wanted to make sure that the recipe is not compromised. I have been offered options where I could have it made back home and sent here, but then I don't know. It's just I like to be hands-on. I want to make sure that each batch comes out to have that gourmet taste and to have that assurance that it's going to come out right. And so we make everything from scratch, from the labeling to sealing to mixing it to weighing and packaging and everything.
Yeah, see, now you sounding like my wife. You know, she's a baker and she don't want to give her recipes to nobody.
Awesome. Me
She
too,
said,
nobody.
I'm not doing any of that.
Right.
She ain't want to hire help because she don't want nobody to learn her recipes.
Nobody knows mine till today. It's been 5 years. Not even my mama. I don't know if I might have to write it down for somebody in my will, because if something happened to me, I guess that's probably not the safest way. But I'm like, I don't want nobody to have my recipe, especially now that competition has come up and they still don't have that good recipe. We still stand out. So yeah.
Yeah, that's taking it to the next level is always the key. That's what we all should do is to grow in business, and the thing is, like you said, when they have a need and you could feel it, do it. That's a market you could feel, right? So since you are now feeling that market, how's the demand?
Oh, the demand has been great. And for me, it's been a learning journey. And, it was a great thing that I didn't have the money to go hire a manufacturing company or a co-packer. It was great that I had to learn on my own and learn from other people and self-teach myself. Because through that, I have an e-course right now that teaches people how to start their own. It's called How to Start Your Own Food Package Business on Udemy. And even with my YouTube page, like, I'm able to teach people how they can, get their own products on shelf in no time because of what I've learned. So I definitely love that. The demand has been so great, because from the first onset, what I did was I sent out samples to as many African stores as I could. And because it was something that they're used to, I wasn't introducing something so brand new. I just found a niche in something that people were already eating. And so Puff Puff was not something that I had to explain. And I didn't go to the American market first. I wanted to first start my base with, the African grocery stores and the farmers market, where they already knew what Puff Puff was, but I'm introducing an easier way to make it. So it's been very great. We're currently in over 40 stores nationwide and counting. I think my biggest struggle also has been that I'm doing everything by myself and I have other businesses. So sometimes it can be a little bit where I'm not spending as much time as I need to really market the product, because even though it's been 5 years, it's still kind of considered a new product, because a lot of people have still not heard about it, even in the African community. And so, and also in the beginning, it was a little bit iffy because Africans love to cook from scratch. Like, we like, I guess, the pressure. Well, the older, not the millennials, but the older generation really love spending that 2-3 hours. They trust only their recipe. And so those store owners that catered more to the older generation didn't really see the vision. But I was catering more to the millennials that still want to eat, African food, but not have to be in the kitchen, being confused and all of that stuff. So it's gradually, and once people trusted the taste, we did a few taste tables. And once people started really loving the taste of it and trusting that it tastes like what your mom will make back home, then the business really started improving and growing even more.
Hello guys, have you grabbed you a bag of Puff Puff mix for that Christmas party, for the Christmas gathering, for the holiday party? All you do is mix it. Just add 2 cups of warm water and you have your mix ready literally in about 2 minutes. You will have some delicious, absolutely delicious. We have so many reviews about how tasty and delicious our recipe is. And in 2 minutes, you mix it up with 2 cups of warm water. You let it rise for about 45 minutes or an hour and a half, or you can just, let it rise while you're getting other things ready, and then you fry it. It's that simple. So make sure that you go to that party or you host that party and you cook you some bomb Puff Puff. Okay, you don't need no auntie to make you puff puff, because you got the original Aunties Puff Puff mix with you to help you out this Christmas and to help you out this holiday. So make sure you pick it up at your local grocery store, or you can order it on our Etsy page, or you can go to auntiespuffpuffmix.com and order you a bag before Christmas. And you know, when you show up at a party with some delicious puff puff, everybody gonna be giving you the thumbs up.
A lot of people, you know, they want the food, but they don't want to take the time like, you know, grandmama used to take the time in that kitchen. And then, you know, when grandmama be in that kitchen, you know, she would not even use a measuring cup. You know, they just grab, they know how to grab the salt.
And that's how they did it. That's how we do it.
Yeah, the
So
salt,
how
the
can
sugar,
anybody
you
learn?
know, pepper,
Nobody
and
have a
nothing would be too
Yep.
salty, too sugary, or
Exactly.
nothing. The flour, everything they knew by hand. Like, how you measuring that? Like,
Exactly.
I just know how much to do it.
Yep.
You know?
And that's what was hard, because you can't teach it. How you teach somebody? Well, my mom always said, well, I just know. Just add, when you add and I feel it and I, you know, make my hand, I know when it's enough. I'm like, how do you know when it's enough? That's not, you can't teach nobody that. It'll take you 20 years just to learn.
Yeah.
So now with the measuring with the Aunties Puff Puff mix, everything has already been pre-measured. All you do is add 2 cups of warm water and you have your mix ready to deep fry it.
Yeah, so
And
basically
some plant-based
you went.
also.
So basically, you went the route of like a Duncan Hines. Basically, you just
Yeah.
add your eggs, add your this, add your that, your oil or whatever else, and mix it up. Do that, and you're done.
Now, we don't have eggs. We are dairy-free. We are plant-based. We are vegan-friendly. So, just so you know, you can cheat a little bit with the Puff Puff because it don't have, you know, the eggs and the milk and all of that stuff. It's still all plant-based.
Okay, what you said the fried, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can cheat. You can have a little cheat one and one. But then again,
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
No, I'm gonna tell you something else. I wish they would make. Well, I know this is outside of your culture, but you know, injera. Oh man, I love that. I love that. I don't know how they make. Well, they told me how they make it, but you know, it's just. Have you ever eaten that?
You said injera?
Yeah.
What is that? Where is that from?
Ethiopia.
Oh, is it like the flatbread looking thing?
Yeah. It was plant based.
Oh. Well, you eat it with the sauce and stuff.
Yeah, like the different foods, and you know, you pick the food up and eat it with that or whatever.
It's
And,
like a bread type of flat.
yeah. You know, it's like a bread, but it's so thin that it's you know. Yeah.
Don't get
So
me, Phil. We might need to talk about that off air because you know that's not bad.
yeah, that's not. But they're very secretive about how they make that, just as much as like you secretive about yours.
I know, right? We gonna find somebody.
But it's good though, because you know you have to protect your culture. I believe in that. You know, protecting your culture. Don't give because one thing I feel that we give away our culture too much.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's okay for people to eat some food, but you don't need to know how to make it. I don't need to be seeing a shop full of, you know, now you got, you know, nothing against it, but, you know, you got white Americans making Cameroonian food. Like, I want to go to the Cameroonians for Cameroonian food. You know what I'm saying?
Chinese people are frying puff puff as street food. I was amazed when I went back home.
Oh, they doing it now too?
Telling you, they are up in there frying puff puff on the street. No lie.
You know what? And speaking of that, you know, you say that's happening in Cameroon too?
Yeah. China don't play. China's taking
let
like
me tell you something.
not.
I heard that same thing in Kenya, and a lot of the native people, you know, that's there are getting very upset about that because they coming in offering things so cheap, and then it's cutting them out.
You're not even given the healthier version is what is annoying is because the worst products that you can buy back home is sometimes the Chinese because they're getting into the medicine, into the food, and sometimes because we're not so advanced technology-wise, we don't really know how to recognize what is fake and what is real. So I've heard stories of fake rice, like they sell the rice, the Chinese rice or whatever, and it's not actual rice. It's like genetically enhanced fake rice. Like it's just a lot of stuff and killing. You know, there have been a lot of videos that have gone viral where they're hacking people's organs. So it's a pretty much a whole. China is colonizing without really colonizing. They come in to buy us. They've built some few stadiums back in Cameroon, so they definitely know how to get the government, and then they come there and they take over gradually, slowly but surely.
Yeah, you know, like I say, every person I talk to, whether it's Kenya, Cameroon, or wherever, no one has nothing good to say about the Chinese. Nobody. Now the government, like, oh yeah, the Chinese, but yeah, like you said, they grease their pockets and make them happy, or whatever. Yep. but then the people suffer. So, you know, it's just a consensus I'm noticing about the Chinese and the continent. But here, America, now, have you pushed this product to black-owned grocery stores that are owned by Black Americans?
I have not yet. I have been so focused because I wanted it to get to a certain level, at least be in most African stores, because I feel like we're almost there, but we're not really at that level. And also, I feel like I wanted to first really cover the African, Caribbean, and the farmers market. So, I mean, for the American market, we have it in farmers market. So Americans go to farmers market, but I haven't really been advertising it hard in the American market. I've still been waiting for that right connection to let me know how to go about it the right way.
Well, you know, the best way to go about it is to show up to different events. They say that we may be having, and this, you know how people go out there and let you try, different things, like just samples and say, hey, you know, this is this. Oh, really? Because we love to buy food. That's one thing we love to buy. That's the truth.
Yeah.
So
but you guys are very, very picky though. We did Ludacris had he has his annual festival foundation thing that he has every year. So we did that last year. And it was a great response. They loved it. I think for me, it was more so just trying to balance, because you have to go, because I think the American market is not as easy as just going and sending a sample. You have to kind of deal with the corporate. If it's it's not a small grocery store, then you have to deal with corporate. And then they have seasons where you have to come to a show, something. So it gets a little bit more complicated, where it needs, those are one of the areas where it needs more of my time and more of research and really knowing how to navigate it.
Yeah. So much work, so little time. I know all about that. So how can people that say, man, I would like to try some of that, where can they buy it online?
So online is at auntiespuffpuffmix.com. You can order it from there, and we're about to be on Amazon. We're finalizing our listing on Amazon, so it should be up on Amazon in a few days, and they'll be able to get on Amazon too. And you can, there are Americans that go to African grocery stores. You can go to your African grocery stores. If they don't carry it, definitely throw a word to the manager that they need to. And we would love to definitely provide it to any store nationwide. And there's any American store that would like to carry it. I think now Americans are getting very, very into the culture, into their African culture, and really trying different things out. And since this is not something that is too different, because you guys have New Orleans beignets and the funnel cake, so it's something very similar to your taste buds. So it's not very strong. So if there's any stores, we're definitely open to definitely expanding into the American market.
All right. And now there's one little question. Do you have your, Aunties Mix in any kind of Houston African stores?
Oh, yes. We have it at Acuna Market in Houston.
Acuna?
He is, yes. I think he's near Woodlands, Texas. I don't know where that is,
okay,
but I know.
The Woodlands is way over there.
Yeah,
where them folks at. But like I said, do you have it actually in Houston itself?
Yeah. We used to have it in Southwest Farmers Market. I'm not sure if it's still, I have to check, but we definitely have it in Acuna. But we definitely can mail it to you, mail it to anybody that wants to order online, and we'll ship it over.
Okay. Well, guys, make sure you go to the website. You can make an order and try it out. Like for me, I love trying all kind of food. And like I said, for me,
I'm gonna send you a sample to your wife. I'm interested in what your wife thinks, since she's a baker. So I would love.
My wife, she can just about make anything. I give her that. I'd be shocked at things that she do. Like give her a challenge. So
I'm gonna mail you some samples so you guys can try it and let me know what you think.
Okay, all right. Well, like I said, just have to get with Kellen, and then he can, provide you all that. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you get some of that. She says she's gonna be on Amazon, which Amazon is one of my favorite places, especially that one-click ordering. That's my favorite thing to do on Amazon, and be right at the door, especially for Prime member. If you have Amazon, I don't know why you're not on Prime. But, Louise, thank you for joining us on the show today. I greatly appreciate it, for letting us know. And like I said, we will, if you send it to us, we'll definitely try it out, because I love to try it for sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Phil.